Hello everyone, Chetna here from Me with a Pencil, and today I'm going to show you how to write or do calligraphy with a pencil. Yes, you can do a calligraphy with a pencil, and I have shared a similar video previously. But here I'm going to show you how to write words and also how to write all the small letters. So for that, we'll need a normal HB pencil or any pencil that you have, and some colored pencil if you like. So pencils just for you to have fun and do some colored practice. So I'm going to be using this normal HB pencil. For that, for the pencil, we do not need a very pointed tip. The tip of the pencil should have a little edge at the tip of it so that it flows smoothly when we write with it. So do this to get a kind of edge to the pencil. So now you can see that the tip is not very pointed and has a very soft edge to it on the side, and that part is what we are going to use to write and create letters. So starting, as you can see over here, demonstrating letter A. So it will be easier and it flows smoothly when you write it on the paper and you get those thick and thin lines. So calligraphy is all about thick and thin lines and you need to achieve that. And for that, I'll go through some basic strokes that we need to learn before we start writing letters. Now let's see the basic strokes. So here is the first one, that is the upstroke, also called as entrance and exit. Then we have downstroke, then we have overturn and underturn, compound curve, then we have ascender, descender, ascender or descender loop, and the oval. So these are the 8 basic strokes that is really important and the foundation of calligraphy that we are going to write or learn to write. So starting with the first stroke, that is the entrance stroke or the upstroke, it starts from down to up. So one thing you have to remember, when your pen goes in the upward direction, your lines are thin. When your pen is going in the downward direction or pencil is going in the downward direction, the lines are thick. So when you put pressure on the pencil and you create a thick line. So up you go is thin and down you go is thin. So now we're going to apply the same rule of thick and thin over here on the overturn curve. So where you see a thin line and then a thick line. So it starts with a thin line that is going in the upward direction, go continuously, and then when you take a turn, now gradually start putting pressure on the pencil so it creates a darker shade. And that's how you get thin to thick line. And you get a beautiful transition at the top, at the transition point. And then similar to the undertone curve, it starts with the downstroke, then takes a turn and release the pressure and go gradually creating a thin line in the upward direction. And that's our undertone curve. So compound curve is like the combination of both overturn and underturn curve. And that's how you do a similar way, thin line, thick line, take a transition, go up and go slowly, finish the stroke and lift the pencil. So the middle part is where you'll get the thicker line. But make sure you have the transition from thin to thick and thick to thin. And then we have ascending loop. It starts with a thin line and then completes with a thick line, giving a beautiful transition at the top. And then similar to the ascender, we have descender, but it starts with a thick line and ends with a thin line like this. And they like opposite, ascender, descender. And then we have the oval stroke. It starts here at 2 o'clock. So start with a thin line, gradually start putting pressure, thick line, and again release pressure from the pencil, create a very thin shade and go in the upward direction and connect it. So these are the 8 basic strokes and this is how you form them uh, by going light upwards and darker shade when you go in the downward direction. So it is all that you have to remember when you're writing with the pencil. So keep your pencil light when you go in the upward direction. Put little pressure and keep your strokes a little darker in the downward direction. So now these 3 strokes oval, entrance stroke, and undertone curve is going to help you form the letter A. So now let's see how we can write that. So first we do an entrance stroke, that is thin up stroke, and then we form an oval, applying thick and thin line, and then the undertone curve. So these three strokes forms letter A, and that is how all the calligraphy letters are formed, stroke by stroke. So that's one, two, and three. Three strokes forms letter A. Similarly, all the other small letters are formed as well. So I'm going to write all the small letters. You can observe the letter closely and see which stroke is connecting to which. So this was A, and similarly you can connect all the other letters. And here you can see and observe that how the letters are created stroke by stroke. So as you observe all the letters which are created stroke by stroke, you'll be able to understand and form words as well. So stay tuned till the end of the video, as I'm going to be sharing how to connect and form words as well using a pencil. As you can see that there are thick and thin line, like the contrast of thin and thick line, and you have to go very gently when you go in the upper direction, just a very light pressure on the pencil and create a thin line. And when you go downwards, put a good pressure on the pencil so you get a darker line like this. So that creates a good contrast between thick and thin line with a pencil. As you'll be practicing this, make sure you practice using the guidelines. I was going to do in this line, but this was very small area to work with the pencil, so I thought I'll directly write on the plain paper. But whenever you practice any calligraphy, or even with the pencil, you should practice using the guidelines. You can use any ruled notebook or a grid book to practice keeping the lines in mind. Guidelines really helps you to get proper alignment of the letters, and each letter of similar size, height, and width. So that really matters. So practice always using the guidelines. And another important point to keep in mind is to go stroke by stroke and not continuous. As you can see over here, I'm doing all the letters one stroke at a time, creating the letters one stroke after the other and not continuous. So go slow with each stroke and com- lift the pen after every stroke and then start a new stroke. That would really give you a better and clear looking letter. Like few letters which are continuous except like S, for example S, and C, we have E, which are like a continuous one stroke letter, but not all of them. So go slow, going slow is the key. So that's letter Y. and the last letter Z. I have finished all the letters and you can see how beautiful they look with the thick and thin line contrast. So now let's write something using the color pencil. So you'll also have an idea how you can practice using that and how good it looks. So here I'm going to use this guideline. I will show you how you can use these guidelines to write using the pencil. So I'm keeping it below the paper. You can see this, the lines are quite visible on the plain paper. So you can do it this way as well, or you can directly write on the guidelines. And you can find these guidelines in the description below. I'll put it put the link in the description so you can download it. So for here, first two lines, that is like the x height, and the above line is ascender and the descender. So more in, I have explained the guide about the guidelines more in detail in my first how to calligraphy with pencil video. So you can check that video out also. The link will be in the description. So do check it out, that too, and also some of my beginners brush calligraphy tutorials. So here I'm simply going through the basic form of the letter A. As you can see, you have to go up and put a thin line and it looks so good with that red color giving that good contrast of thick and thin line. And I'll show you how you can write the letter B as well. And we're going to use the center line. Oops, this is a very light pencil. I'm going to use some dark one. So here for the ascender, your letters like B, K, L, all the ascending loop letters, we touch the ascender line. And similarly with the descending letters as well, like G and J, Y, all those. So you can create this kind of B as well as the one that I've showed earlier as well. So as I said, you can create variations once you learn how to do the simple basic ones. So that's another B. So this is how you can also have fun practicing and writing some nice notes or cards, anything with the color pencils using just the, pencil and create beautiful calligraphy letters. So let's write a word over here. I'm going to write the word hello. And here again, you have to go stroke by stroke. As you can see, I did an entrance stroke, then an ascending loop, then connecting with the compound curve, and then the letter E, which is a one stroke letter, and then the ascending loop, letter L, again the letter L, lift the pen and then the letter O. So you connect one after the other, like the ending stroke connects the starting stroke of the next letter. That is the key to connecting letters. So that's the word hello. And I'm going to write some other word, maybe the word beautiful. So yeah, this is the better angle to see. As you can see, I'm creating stroke by stroke and lifting my hand after creating every stroke and then connecting it to the next stroke. So go slowly while also creating the letters and also the words. So you get more cleaner and elegant looking letter. And this is how you create words stroke by stroke. And look how beautiful it looks also using the color pencils. So definitely give it a try. I'll also demonstrate it how it will look with the normal pencil. So make sure to try this and share it with me if you try at me with a pencil on Instagram or Facebook. I would love to see what you create, and also if you have any suggestions for any kind of tutorial that you would like to learn from us, from me and Nilofer who teaches watercolor. So if you have any doubts or anything that you would like to learn, do let us know in the comments below. So we'll try to try to make a video for that too. So as you can see, going slow is the key point over here when doing calligraphy, and also lots of practice definitely. So do practice a lot to get more better and better at it, and keep practicing. And we are done with all the basic strokes, small letters, and how to connect them. I hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure when you practice the basic strokes first and then try to do the small letters and then the connections. So practicing basic strokes is also very important to get proper consistent looking letters. I hope you enjoyed watching the tutorial, and if you like this, do like, share and subscribe to our channel. And if you try this, do share it with us at Me With a Pencil on Instagram and Facebook. We would love to see your work. And thanks for watching. See you next week.